Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So right here we just saw into the previous video regarding the markers, right? That what are markers and how do we make up the markers. Now in today's particular video we are going to see how the practical implementation for making up the markers, right? And how do we use that out, how do we run that out, everything I'll be covering up right here in this particular video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that whatever the functions, whatever test functions we did already made out, I am going to make up the markers onto those respective only. I'm not going to make up the new functions. I would simply write up the functions and make up the markers right here into these particular test files. Okay, so into the previous video itself, when I was telling you about the theoretical parts regarding the markers, so there I did mention up that it's compulsory, it's necessary for you to import up the PyTest for the very starting. It's compulsory, it's necessary for you to do so. So I'm going to write up here the import, and here goes the PyTest. So it means that whenever you are using up the markers, whenever you are making up the markers, so in that case it's really very compulsory for you to make up the to import up the PyTest module. Okay, now moving forward with that, what we did saw that we were making up the markers, and we did saw up the command as well for making up the markers, right? That was at the rate PyTest dot mark dot your marker name, whatever your marker name you want to make it out. So let me get down here for this one. Now let's say this is my function for which I want to make up the marker name. Okay, so what will I make? I would write up at the rate, here goes PyTest dot mark dot. Now there is no need to put up the angular brackets for making up the marker name. That was a form of syntax which I was telling you. Right here we do not put up the angular brackets. And let's say my marker name, I made this as fun. Okay, I want to make up my marker name as fun. So yes, I did wrote so. Okay, I did write up the similar thing. Now into this there is no such harm for making up or for writing up the markers with similar name. Let's say you are having some 4 or 5 test functions into your file. So for all of those functions, if you give up the marker name as fun wherever required, so there is no such harm in that. So it means a marker name can be repeated once, twice, thrice, or even n number of times. Okay, so in that respective case, it is not going to show you out any sort of error or anything like that. Okay, simply your marker name has to be made up. Now it depends on you. You want to make up different marker names, or you want to make up a similar marker name. Fine. Okay, getting down here for the second one, and always the marker name is made up above the line where you have declared your function. So let's say right here in this example I have declared up my function onto line number 10. Okay, so above that only I'll be making up my marker. It's not the case you make it in between or you make it at last. Okay, whenever you are declaring up your function, so you declare up the function, and just above the line where you have declared the function will be the line where you'll be making up your marker. Okay, putting up at the rate again. Here goes my PyTest dot, here again goes my mark dot. Okay, for this function, let's say again I want to make up the marker which is fun, and for some cases I'll be writing up some wrong cases as well right here. Okay, moving down. Okay, let's say for this I wrote up as reach PyTest dot, here goes my mark, and let's say for this I want to make it up as demo. Fine. So for this respective file, I did make up 3 markers. First was at the rate pytest.mark.fun. Second was as well the similar, which was at the rate pytest.mark.fun. And for the third one, I did make up it as at the rate pytest.mark.demo. Okay, so all of these things, 3 things are very much sorted up here. Now, I would go on to the second file. Again, for this file, first of all, I'm going to import up the PyTest. So import, and here goes my PyTest. Okay, great. Moving down, I'll be making up the marker for me. So here again goes at the rate, and 1 second, at the rate. And here I'm going to write up here the PyTest dot. Here I'm going to write up the mark dot, and for this I'm gonna again make up the marker name as fun. Okay, so here for this I am gonna write up at the rate PyTest dot mark. Again for this I'm gonna make up fun, and let me make up some sort of things strong. So pink is equal to, let's say I wrote up here as A, and the last one which I'm having up here, I am gonna make that as demo only. Fine. So it's a PyTest dot mark dot, and here goes my demo. So I wanted this respective name only to come up here, so I did make that out. Fine. Going back onto my file number 3. Now I'm going to show you that what will happen if I'm not going to import up the PyTest. If I directly start making up my file, why sorry, if I directly start making up my marker and I did not import up the this PyTest, so what is going to happen up at that particular place? So I'm going to write up at the rate, and I'm going to write up PyTest dot, I'm going to write up mark dot, and what is my function name? I'm going to make up my marker name as fun. So see what I'm getting up the error. Okay, so now that is the reason it's important for you to import up the PyTest, because you're using up that respective library, right? And in Python we have a rule that whenever you are using up any respective library, so in that case it's necessary for you to first of all import up that library, then you could work upon and make up the functions or use up the functions from that respective library. Okay, so that was the reason I was focusing very much into the last video for importing of the PyTest library. Again here goes at the rate, that's my PyTest dot, it's the mark dot, it's again the fun. Here I'm going to put it as 21, let's say, and for this one I'm going to make up the marker as PyTest dot mark dot, and here I'm going to make it as demo. Fine. So all of these markers have been made up. I'm going to go on to the terminal. Fine. Now what I'm going to do is that I am going to execute out this respective query. Sorry, I'm going to execute out this respective function, and I'm going to see that how I am going to get up the results. Okay, so the syntax which we did learned was PyTest. We put up dash m, then you put up your marker name. My marker name is fun, and you put up dash v, right, and hit out enter. So now what it's going to do is that from the markers it's gonna collect up the things, and it's gonna show you up the different sort of things. Okay, so right here you are having up that from the 9 items, the 3 have been deselected and the 6 have been selected. So 2 or 3 have been passed and the 3 have been failed up. Okay, so your test underscore fun one, it means for which you made up the marker that this one has been failed, and you are generating up the assertion error. Test underscore function 2 has been failed up, and test underscore fun 3 have as well been failed up, right? And here you are having up a short summary. Okay, you are having up a short summary that into this respective summary, whatever the functions you are having up, so for that it is showing that 32 is equal to 21. First of all, this function has been failed. Then second one, right here pink is equal to 8, this function has been failed up. And then 2 is equal to 21, this has been failed up, right? So in total 3 failed, 3 passed, 3 deselected, and 9 warnings you are having up here. Okay, now what I would do, I would close this out. Fine, for the fun I did already checked out that how it works. Now I would again open the terminal, and this time I'm going to check it for the demo which we did also make. So here goes PyTest dash m, and here we have a demo. Here we have demo, and it's the dash v. Okay, hit out enter. So now see that what it is giving me, that in total 9 items were collected, 6 were deselected and 3 were selected, because we did make up the 3 functions with the marker which was demo. 2 passed and 1 failed, so this is the failed one which is test demo, in which 70 is equal to 90 has been written. And at last you got up the summary, 1 failed, 2 passed, 6 deselected, and 9 warnings you are having up right here. Fine. So this is how these markers actually work out, and this is how these things completely work up here. And if I'm going to put up all of these functions as true, so now into that respective case, these are not going to give me out any of the failed cases, and simply they would result me that all the cases have been completely passed, and this much have been deselected, and this much have been got the warnings. Warnings you get because if you had used up any other marker name as well into your test file, then for the marker name which you are calling, for the marker name which you have mentioned, let's say you have mentioned it for fun, so it will execute all of the test functions for the fun, but it will give up the warning for the other markers which you had made, like here you had made up the demo, right? So that's the other one. So it will give you up the warnings for that particular marker name. So whatever the marker name you have mentioned of, and for whatever you are running up the command, except that if any of the markers are present up into your data, or sorry, present up into your test functions, so it is going to give you up the warnings for that respective one, right? So hope I'm very much clear with all of these respective things to you, that how do we make up the markers and how do actually these things completely work out, right? Hope you got up a very clear idea. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.